So Kentucky put up the most points against Florida since like the 50s, and so how are you all trying to maintain this momentum going against Tech?
I really mean this. It has been about the process for a while now, and so that's probably the first time I've heard that, but I think it just comes down to improvement, and I think, this offense, this team, there's something, in us that is all about improvement and have been even before we had gotten on a decent little run here. So we're trying to get these guys to the next level, make them the best players they can be, and that's been the focus.
Which I know we talk a lot about what happened since South Carolina, but was there a specific moment where you guys sat down and said, all right, we got to change a lot of stuff here to make this work?
Yeah, I attribute it, I was fortunate to bring in, Kevin Barbay, who's been a coordinator a lot of places, and I remember him, sitting there after game and us talking about what do we have to do, particularly after that game, and what direction do we have to go, and he kind of said something to me, which, keep between us, but has been a little bit of philosophically what the direction we've gone, and again, it's not about what we've done in the past. It's not about what people say is right. What's right is what's working, and so we've tried to stay focused on that and just continue to build on it.
One of the impressive things on Saturday was there's really balanced mix between the run game and the passing game. As the coordinator, do you hit almost like a flow state when kind of everything seems to get clicking and you've got a lot at your disposal to use?
I think so. I think you probably said it perfectly with the term flow state. When you can run the ball, a lot of things just naturally start happening. And again, if you can run it, generally you get backers reacting, you get safeties downhill, you have the opportunity for play action pass and creating those things. And again, I think I've been proud of the third down operation. That's been critical as well, us extending drives and the mixture of what we did on short yardage to third down, the ability to run the ball, efficient passing. I think a lot of that led to a successful day.
The direct snap stuff, the Seth, we've seen in some short yardage recently. Is that something new that you just added, or has that always been in the playbook and you just kind of used it more? Where did that come from?
Yeah, I think it's a split second faster getting him the ball, and I think every week we're watching, every short yardage in the country, every explosive play in the country, and you're fortunate enough to have the data these days to do it, and so. We've always done similar things to that, but it's a package we've seen, and we think we can use it to benefit us.
What's the benefit there of having Cutter still standing back there to where there's some mystery where it's going, as opposed to like moving him out wide, which is what we've seen with Wildcat in the past?
Yeah, I think maybe sometimes it's hard to know exactly where he is. Now, Cutter's, all 6'9", and I think he stands out. But, whether he's 6 inches in the B gap or he's in the A gap, sometimes I'm not so sure from breaking the huddle, being there so quick that they really have an idea where he's at.
What's unique about Tennessee Tech's defense? Obviously, they're undefeated.
Yeah, there's not a lot that's not unique. So there's a ton of movement. These guys play extremely hard. They're playing extremely confident. I would just say for us, like every snap, the front seven is moving. So constant movement, a lot of different defense. And so I think the biggest thing for us is we've got to stick to our rules, and we've got to play fast.
The theme sort of seems to be, Stoops said after the postgame in Florida and yesterday, a lot of growth. You mentioned growth. How has growth of guys like Cutter and Kendrick and JJ, who have really stepped into these roles, how have it made your job easier and made this offense really open up?
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, certainly when we're making plays and executing, but I'm proud of each of those guys. I'm proud of our staff. We got a lot of work to finish and a lot of things to get done. But we think it's been a blend of how do you build confidence in these guys, figuring out the direction you want to go, what are the concepts we can get good at, and just keep doing them over and over again. Ultimately, I think we're playing as confident as we probably have in my time here, and it's a testament to the staff and the players and everybody involved.
And speaking of growth, an undefeated Tennessee Tech team, not an unusual kind of mid-November opponent. What's like this next step you want to see the offense take in this game?
I think this offense, this team has gone through a ton of weeks where it's just about us, right? Like we've been down in the dumps and not even really focused on, hey, what do these guys do and what is this? We've just had to go to work and really figure who we are out, if you will. And so I think the approach is no different. This is a talented team. You don't want to see them at this time, absolutely. You guys know that. They're undefeated for a reason. They're very good schematically. But for us, and on top of how much scheme they do on defense and the movement, we've got to play our game. We've got to stick to our rules, and again, not allow them to slow us down, if you will.
How much of your challenge this week is kind of that mental game, coming off an emotional big win like that, and then having this kind of game this weekend, like, not letting human nature affect that?
I think we'll build it up, as the week kind of goes. Again, it has been a very steady group right now. I think you have to be real with your offensive players. There's guys, the reality of it is we know what's at stake and what we need to get done from a legacy standpoint, from a standpoint of guys getting an opportunity at the next level in the NFL, for an opportunity for next year, and guys figuring that out. And so my approach has probably changed in that way. Like every week in this day and age of college football is really important. And I think it's been that approach with the players that this is not 5, 7, 10 years ago. Every one of your plays is being evaluated by somebody, and your tape is your resume.
Saturday is senior day. How important have these last couple games been, and these next couple in front of you continue to be in terms of giving them some of the payoff? Because somebody like Cutter or these freshman receivers, like they've got a lot more ball to play in front of them. But for the seniors, like this is kind of their moment.
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, I think you go back to, when you were in that situation, and sometimes the catalysts, if you will, for a program are not always the guys you might think they are. And sometimes it's some of the guys that have kind of just been here 2, 3, 4 years, done everything the right way, been a great teammate. And so I think about that for a lot of guys, starters, non-starters, guys who've had to step up and make plays. You want to end it right because they deserve that. We talked about the fans deserving this the last week, and it's no different for our seniors.
You mentioned the running backs earlier. Do you feel like you've found that balance of when to use, the trio there, Jason and then Seth and then Dante, and especially this past week, it looked like, they specifically were all the same core there. Do you feel like you found that balance to use all of them in their own way?
Yeah, Jay Boulware's done a tremendous job with that, because not only has it been the two backs, but he's really brought along Jason Patterson really well. And so, a lot of times things happen in split moments, and I'm calling a personnel group that I'm thinking Seth's supposed to be out there for, and he's down for a play, and to see Jason go in there and step right up and have that touchdown, again, he's one of those guys. I think I've said that about him from day one. Like, he just continues to work hard, not worry about how many reps am I getting, and because of that, he's having the success he's having.
What's the biggest area of growth you've seen from Cutter from Eastern Michigan, South Carolina to last week and even during practice this week?
Yeah, I think when he is what we call climbing the pocket, when he is moving up in the pocket and making vertical runs when things aren't there, that's the critical part of his game, and I think you saw it. I know there's a lot of great plays in that, but from a standpoint of being there with him for the last 15 months, the vertical run on like 3rd and 8 that he had, I believe in the first drive of the second half where he extends the drive, he's got that big arm, as we know. He's an old school, prototypical pro-style guy, but he's got enough running game that when he continues to add that, getting the ball out of his hands quick is something we've worked on a lot, but that vertical run ability has been critical.
What does it say about JJ's presence of mind to make that player who reaches it over the pylon there instead of just going out of bounds like maybe you would have thought?
Yeah, I mean, that's it's one of those things when you reach it over and it's not, 4th down. If it works, you pat him on the back. If the ball gets fumbled in the end zone, you normally get on them. So sometimes their instincts have to take over, and we work as much as we can for them not to necessarily do that. But again, for him to keep plugging away and to make a big play in that game, we felt that drive, utilizing that tempo, was a big change in that game, and we're certainly proud of him.
Okay, folks. We got one more? Somebody got one more?
I was going to ask about Dante. We kind of envisioned him kind of all summer going into the season as the big, bruising power back, but he's given you guys a couple of your more explosive plays this season. Is there an extra gear there that we just weren't aware of?
I think so. I saw something this weekend where he was one of the faster guys on the field in college football, and just think anytime you have a player that really excels at one thing, but then can add the other thing, it can be special. You know, we talk about Cutter and maybe from his throwing ability and that standpoint, but when he gets really good is when he extends plays with his legs and is good as a runner. I think that about Dante. You know it's going to be a physical game when he's touching the ball, but his ability to make the first guy miss, create those explosive runs, that's ultimately how points get scored is by creating those big ones.
Okay.
Jagger, you're a Kentucky kid. You know how big beating Florida is. So how are y'all using this momentum going into this undefeated Tennessee Tech team?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously awesome win last weekend, but, you know, something that's like always preached just every year really is a big thing Coach Stoops talked about is, you know, you got to have a quick memory, whether it's a good win, or bad loss. So we're moving on from it, focused on Tennessee Tech because, I mean, obviously being 10-0, I mean, that's really impressive, and they do a lot of confusing stuff up front, stuff like that. So we're focused on them.
Bush kind of mentioned how their front seven kind of always is moving and does confusing stuff. So how has the O-line been prepping for this tough defense and this unique looking defense?
Yeah, I think really the only way to prep for it is just see it as many times as you possibly can. I mean, they're going to have new stuff just like everyone else. There's going to be stuff that you're going to have to adjust to on the fly, but they do a really good job of, you know, causing confusion and when they get to their place, disrupting stuff. So we got to be prepared for it and just keep, you know, repping it every day until the game. So.
I feel like last week was probably the most complete game for the offensive line. It seems like you all grown every single week. Do you feel like, you know, that Florida game was your all's best game so far, and where do you all take it from there?
Yeah, I think in regards to protecting the quarterback for sure. You know, I feel like we've been able to run the ball pretty well all year and just been trying to build on that every week. So last week I felt like we did take it. I mean, Coach Wolf told us we took a step forward protecting Cutter and, you know, giving him the time that he needs because obviously he's extremely special when he has the time and can really let that thing rip. So, yeah, we're just going to keep, you know, building each week, trying to get better every week and, you know, ride this momentum. So,
Jagger, you all have had such good injury luck on the line. We haven't seen a lot of those guys behind you this year, but how have they developed in terms of the future? What are you seeing from those guys?
Yeah, I think, you know, Coach Wolf does a great job of, like, getting those guys. Like, we'll do scenarios in practice where he'll be like, Jagger's down this series. And Wibberley comes in, or you know, some Braun's down the series, you know, stuff like that, just to be prepared in the situation that happens. Because honestly, oftentimes everybody knows. I mean, it's rare like the same five play throughout the whole year, just with injuries and stuff. That's how it goes, especially in this conference. So yeah, we have been blessed in that. But I mean, I have all the faith in the world with those twos that they'd be ready to go if something did happen.
Jagger, you played a lot of football now, been around a long time. How do you approach a game like this mentally, coming off a big win like you just had and avoiding that kind of human nature scenario of a possible win?
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at it that way just because, I mean, these guys are a great football team. I mean, if you turn on the film and watch it, I mean, they're not the typical what everybody, you know, thinks when they see that stuff. So, I mean, they're 10-0. They haven't lost a game in a long time. They play together well. They got a lot of old guys. They rally to the football. They do everything. They have a great scheme. So, you know, we're preparing the same as we did for Florida, Georgia. I mean, these guys, it's a great football team. So, yeah, we're just getting as many reps as we can, get ready for them. So.
Same question I asked Jagger. You're a Kentucky kid. You know what beating Florida means to Kentucky. So how are you using that momentum to go into this week against Tennessee Tech?
Yeah, obviously it's a super good win for us, and we did a lot of good things all three phases of the game, and I think there's still a lot to learn from it, and we just need to continue to have that growth mindset week in, week out.
What do you remember about the conversations after that South Carolina game about how they've changed the offense and all the tweaks you have made in terms of just the way you play?
Yeah, I think we've just continued to stay steadfast in our preparation and the plan, you know what I mean, really diving into the plan and really operating it the way Coach Hamdan wants it operated.
What's your favorite thing that Coach Hamdan's done to kind of tweak things to get you into a groove?
Yeah, he's just kind of played to our strength and made us super comfortable in the offense, simplifying some things and then also making some things just a little bit more in-depth, talking about things a little bit more. I think we just dove into some areas we really needed to grow in, and I think we've taken big steps in those areas and made big improvements.
Going back to the beginning of the season, I think one of the big questions of this team was like, who's going to stand out at wide receiver?
Mm-hmm.
Feels like these last couple weeks specifically, you know, there's been some guys that have separated themselves. What has kind of your part in the development of the wide receivers been? What has that been like over the course of the season?
Yeah, I think those receivers have really taken it head on, and they've really taken each and every opportunity to go out there and show what they can do. I think guys have really stepped up when their name's called, and I think those guys, you never know when your name's going to be called, but I think they've always been ready, and no matter what, like I've said all year, I don't care who's out there at receiver. I think all these guys can make plays, so you got to give all these guys chances.
And just from your perspective, what is it like kind of developing that relationship with each individual receiver, just knowing tendencies, knowing what different guys are good at? Like, it feels like, a guy like DJ Miller, like he can high point the ball, and you've used that obviously these last couple of weeks. So how does that development work as well?
Yeah, I think you just got to build that chemistry, and that comes through taking snaps together, live snaps, live reps. And I think everybody's seen our growth throughout these games, throughout the year. And I think that that kind of really shows our growth. Me giving guys opportunities and then going up and get the ball. We've both been doing our jobs great, and I think we can really continue to get better in a lot of areas.
There's been a lot of improvement, obviously, you said, in your game and in the run game. Talk about what you've seen out of your O-line and their growth over the season.
Oh yeah, they've been great, and that's them just really diving into the game plan, diving into third downs, diving into protection, week in, week out, really sticking together as a group and building that chemistry throughout the year. They're playing really well together right now. All 5 guys are really in sync, communicating really well. And I'm super proud of those guys, and I feel really comfortable being back there behind them for sure.
How much would you say that internal clock has changed for you since the start of the season?
Yeah, no, I've made a big improvement on that. Getting the ball out, getting in guys' hands, allowing them to make plays, and stepping up when I need to, and creating vertical runs for sure.
Well, we've asked about the defense. Bush and Jagger both said their front 7 does seem unique, things always shifting. So how's it been for you as the quarterback adjusting to what could be a very unique defense that you've never seen?
Yeah, obviously we're just taking this week like we have any other week, taking it like an SEC game, taking it like any other opponent we play, preparing the exact same way. We don't take anything lightly. We don't take these guys. We don't take this game for granted or anything like that. We're acting like they're another SEC opponent. And they do a lot of complicated stuff on defense. They do a lot of different things, but I think the key for us is just being able to stick to who we are and play our ball.
Talk about the seniors and just what you've learned from that senior class.
Yeah, all around, every position, both sides of the ball. We have a lot of great seniors on this team, and they've really stepped up in a lot of leadership roles and kind of taken this team over. And we're really grateful for our seniors. We lost 2 on defense this week, and I really feel for those guys. And I'm just super proud of everybody who's been able to step up and fill in roles and just make us better overall.
You were talking about not being worried about any kind of letdown. Does when a team comes in and you hear they've won 15 in a row, I imagine that gets your equipment or gets your attention pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. They've played a good brand of ball in their league so far, and we got to come in here and do our job and kind of just handle business. And I think, like I said, treat them like another SEC opponent. They're a good ball club, and we're going to come in here and play our ball and just kind of stick to who we are.
JJ, the theme over the past couple of weeks talking with Bush and Stoops has been the growth of the team, and obviously offensively on Saturday against Florida was a big explosion. What has been the biggest difference you think that you've seen in the offense to allow all these points to start coming up?
I would say personally just everybody really buying in. After those first couple of losses, we really came in together as a team, talked about it, evaluated what we need to do, and I feel like ever since that point, we've just been making steps towards progress.
TJ, I think you've got 3 touchdowns and 5 catches. What is it about your knack for getting in the end zone when you get those opportunities out there?
I'm not sure what it is, but I'm blessed with the opportunity to have those. So looking forward to keeping those going.
What were you thinking on Saturday when you reached over the goal line? Bush said that's a great play when it works, and when it doesn't, it's maybe an issue there.
In the moment and how it looks on video is 2 different things. Yeah. All I remember is I caught the ball, then I turned around, and there was the pylon, but it felt like it happened in slow motion. And then you go look on the video, it was instantaneously like that. So, I'm just blessed to be in the opportunity and just be able to make a play for the team.
From a wide receiver standpoint, what's your favorite thing about the way Cutter's playing right now?
I would say we get opportunities. You know, as a receiver, we love those. We don't really need much. We just need an opportunity. And, you know, as you guys have been seeing lately, we've been making plays. So I'm very proud of him.
How's the receiving group as a whole kind of developed? Because it hasn't been just one guy. There's been a lot of guys that have stepped up these last couple weeks.
Yeah, I would say everybody's bought in. Obviously, as you guys seen, you have guys everywhere on the field that's making plays, from seniors to freshmen. So we just come in every day and work. It's pretty much what it is. There's no type of magic sauce or anything to it, just hardcore blue-collar work.
What has your mentality been like? 'Cause you had the one near miss in the opener that got overturned, and it took a while to get another opportunity. Just how did you kind of stay motivated throughout all that?
I've been in the game for a long time, so I would just say just chop wood, carry water. It's pretty much what it is for everything, every game, every week. Just continue to get better. Obviously, you have your days and your weeks, but just keeping the main thing the main thing.
Has Tennessee Tech as their secondary shown you anything unique that you all haven't seen before that y'all are trying to prepare for?
I would say we talked about it earlier. They have a very young DC. He's going to come out, throw some different stuff at us that we haven't seen before, and just really it's going to be a random defense. You know, he's going to throw a lot of stuff at us. So we'll be prepared like we always are. We're going to go to work pretty much the same. You know, we'll see. It'll be a fun game.
This is a rare kind of opponent, and mid-November, undefeated FCS, but a top 5 FCS team. How excited are the guys kind of for this, we'll say, unique challenge for this team coming in?
Yeah. You usually don't see games like this later in the season, but pretty sure everybody's excited. You know, they're coming in undefeated. We've been hot for the past 2 weeks, so, you know, it'll be a great game. But we're going to treat it like every other game like we do. We can't get too far ahead of ourselves because that's how you trip up and fall. So we're going to just take it one step at a time.